Hey everyone, my name is Maria Mendoza, and today I'll be presenting the case study of Jack in the Box E. coli outbreak. So, to begin with, background Escherichia coli, also known as E. coli for short, was identified in 1885 by German pediatrician Theodor Escherich. It was found in red meat. This discovery happened when an epidemic was occurring in Oregon and Michigan from undercooked hamburger patties. Symptoms included diarrhea, cramps, nausea, and vomiting. There were over 700 people sick. With this in mind, 171 were hospitalized and there were 4 deaths. Ages ranged between 1 to 88 who got sick. 40% were females, 60% were males, and the ethnicity that was most affected were whites at a 95%. And on the right, we have an image of the E. coli bacteria and how it looks. And below, we just have an image of where E. coli first arose, which was from hamburger patties. Second, we have analyzing the current situation. So, Jack in the Box did hire a food safety expert known as Dave Thino. He did give a very simple advice, which was to make sure the meat products were fresh, they looked good, and that they were kept refrigerated and cold. However, this advice was not much help since there was still the outbreak going on. Later in 1960, there was a federal government proposition that included a new inspection system known as HACCP, which in the image on the top we can see it stands for Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. Later, in 2001, more than 100 million pounds of bad meat had to be recalled from cattle, which is the image that we see below. Additionally, hemolytic uremic syndrome, known as HUS, was another bacteria that rose from E. coli, which was emitted from Shiga toxins. Shiga toxins were just bacteria toxins that were causing damaging illnesses that led to death. Symptoms included uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, and kidney failure. There was an attorney known as William Marley who resolved over 100 cases in settlements for individuals who didn't have anyone to fight for them while they were sick. This just continues on to how Jack in the Box was very slow to act. They didn't want to take accountability for what the restaurant was doing. The company was warned ahead of time by a local health department and even their own employees that they were undercooking their hamburger patties, but they still continued to do so. And this just led to a big decrease in their sale revenues. And on the images on the right, we can just see the E. coli bacteria, an image of a more in-depth picture describing the different parts of the bacteria. And below, we can see how there's a chart describing how the image goes from higher to decreasing sale revenues. Additionally, we have prioritizing issues. The main cause that led to E. coli was the ground beef had meat from 443 different cattle, which it shouldn't have been like that. It should have just stayed with one single factory and company instead of having ground beef from all different areas. Another thing was the cow feces, which is what contains this bacteria. When it comes in contact with the meat, this is what leads to the contamination. And when it came to slaughter, this is where everything happened, the contamination of the manure and the meat, and it was what caused the E. coli to happen. Additionally, we have analyzing alternatives. So the first one is putting cattle on grass or hay their last days before slaughter. With this, we can use the health belief model, which is to allowing us to implement these solutions. When it comes to susceptibility, E. coli is present in the digestive tract that can contaminate meat during slaughter and processing. So it's important to educate farmers about the importance of the contamination with cattle in their feedlots and how it can be prevented, such as switching their feed. Additionally, we do have the benefit, which is changes in their pH balance in their stomachs, which is what we want. However, there can be barriers such as the availability of grass and hay, and cattle can lose weight since they would be in a strict diet. On the other hand, we have sprays, which is leading to susceptibility of awareness that E. coli can present on surfaces which will cause health issues. There will be benefits such as the reducement of presence of harmful bacteria and lowering risk infection. However, barriers do include the cost of buying all these sprays and the convenience of having them at hand. And in the middle, we just have an image of bottle sprays, and below we just have cattle feeding on grass and hay. Next, we have providing recommendations. With this, public health, USDA, and CDC need to have better communication. They need to have good safety policies that they can implement, and most importantly, the public health needs to have good communication with the public and informing them how to stay safe. Additionally, there also needs to be new food preparation systems. This includes food handling practices such as washing their hands and surfaces, as well as cooking meat in good temperatures. And this also leads to inspecting the meat. On the images, we can see on the top right a worker inspecting that the meat looks good. Below that, we have the handling practices of cleaning hands, and in the middle, it's just someone making sure that the meat is cooking at a good temperature. Next, we have action plan for one alternative solution. This means that a change in diet needs to be implemented for cattle. USDA and FSIS should be the ones responsible for implementing this. They need to take the steps of first removing grain from their feed so that it stops promoting E. coli from growing in the feces of the cattle. After this, they need to change to feeding cattle hay or grass 5 days or even more days prior before their slaughter. It is important to allow 7 to 14 days for this change to occur so that the cattle's body can get adjusted to this change. And in the right, we just see images of, stop feeding cattle grain and then giving them grass or hay, and then just the logo of the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture. So, to conclude, it is also important to know that salmonella prevention in poultry can compare to E. coli. Salmonella prevention in the Netherlands includes having strict monitoring and testing. The poultry also are in strict diets that help to reduce the bacterial growth. So, to conclude, it is important to know that E. coli can still be infectious to this day, but the cases are less severe now. It is important to find suitable solutions to stop the spread of it at, at all. The change of diets for cattle has shown to be a great solution. The public health sector is responsible for warning the public, responding to these emergencies, and to reduce the outbreaks. It starts with government agencies and local health departments to create a change so that individuals and communities can feel safe and stop these outbreaks from occurring. Next, we have references, and thank you for watching.